What's up guys, it's Darren here and welcome to my EoC fight caves video. A lot of people have been requesting to see how fight caves is being done now in the beta, and if you don't want to hear me commentate or you just want to skip to the specific waves, you can do so by clicking on the screen. You must have annotations enabled and you can skip ahead to the waves you want to see or to go to jet. So I will be starting my commentary now. So I do find that the fight caves is easier now. Through the waves you'll see that you hardly get hit anymore. It's because armor has like such a big impact now on your defensive abilities. So let's say if you have full void, even I was using void because it's the only armor in game currently that gives you a offensive boost. All the armor are defensive only. So I was using void and I was even barely getting hit. And if you are getting hit, you can easily heal with soul split. Through the fight caves I didn't use one single food. Oh well, I used a brew at some part, but just for the fun, like I didn't really need it at all. But yeah, I didn't use any food for the fight caves. I was using magic spells. I did first try the polypore spell just to see how high it hits, cause polypore has a really high damage spell. But then I used my water spell since they are mostly weak to water spells because obviously they are fire based, and magic owns melee and most of them melee. So that's basically it. Now I did have some trouble killing the ranger ones since range is weak to melee and not magic. So I also guess if you want to do the fight caves, you should get dual CLS since they're weak to slash, I believe, and you use those for the melee. I didn't do that for the ranger, I mean, because I forgot them to take. So the total time to do the fight caves was 43 minutes using just magic. Now don't forget that overloads and thermal sprays are getting a boost within the next update when that comes. So you will be doing this a bit faster. And also I was using momentum since I don't really find using abilities that effective at fight caves. Mainly because the monsters are already pretty like weak, and some abilities like the combust, which does damage over time, is not really worth using it since it does like 170, 170. It's just better to use momentum and your damage output is way higher then. And also the momentum ability is also getting a boost, which basically Modcosel said every 20 seconds you'll do a basic ability like the fire breath one or the other ones, which is better than. So I would guess that the fight caves is gonna be around 35 minutes or 38, around that, which is still slower than in the live game, but that's mainly because the lower monsters are made pretty tougher. Now the other monsters like the major ones, which were previously 360s one, they are really weak now. I was just using soul split and I was barely getting hit by those, and I was just using my water spells on them, and I even one hit them with my polypore stick or staff, I mean. So those are pretty easy. Same goes with the melee ones, the 180s, especially since those are weak to melee. I mean, you can also one hit them with the polypore spell staff and the water spells. So those are made pretty easy, and those other small like the small melee ones and those annoying birds or whatever they are, bats ish, those are pretty annoying because sometimes you don't one hit them. And yeah, that's basically it. I did use abilities on Jet since it's way better to use abilities on him. I killed him before the minions just spawned and I already killed him. I did mess up a little bit because Jet was too far away and I couldn't hear his attack. I did get hit to 5k, but I still survived, and after that I pretty much killed him in a few seconds. So to be honest, like if you can't pray switch, I would get Fire Cape now, cause Gano has an absorption, magic absorption, so you're better off using prey range and just tanking the magic hits. Now in the beta, every armor is basically the same. Every armor that's a bit higher in level has a bit more defensive bonus and a bit more life points. So Gano is pretty much nerfed, thank God. Geno is worse than Virtus, and it's better than Arims and Subjugation. So it's still not the worst armor, but it doesn't have that magic absorption anymore, which is awesome. So if you can't prey switch, I would get Fire Cape now. But if you know how to prey switch, you can easily get the Fire Cape now, since the waves are pretty easy and you can kill Jet really fast using some magic abilities. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. If I left anything out, I'll be sure to post them in the description or comments. So I'll be using some music now, and enjoy the rest of the fight caves.